Well, welcome everyone to Ashland, Nebraska and the Birdcage as we are moments away from the #1 ranked team in Class C1, the 15-1 Ashland-Greenwood Blue Jays, hosting 14-5 DC West Falcons in what always promises to be an electrifying conference matchup. Hello everyone, I'm Tim Washburn, and we've got a small crew tonight. It's just Jordan and I in the seats as Jordan Wallman, who runs our Strive class here at Ashland-Greenwood. And of course, he is the man that got his own state championship at Beatrice High School along with Jim Weeks and is a Hastings College All-American. He joins me tonight calling the action. And you know, Jordan, this is a big night because these two teams have really battled over the years. Last year they played 3 times. And every time they get together, it seems to be an exciting one. Talk a little bit about this matchup.
Yeah, DC West, great culture, run and gun. Year in, year out, they put a good team out on the court. Last year, they kind of had their year with Carson Rubicek and drawing a blank on Kyle Merrick was a great player. Brody Travis was their number 3 or their 3rd best scorer. A couple of those guys are gone. Blue Jays got him 3 times, but Brody Travis is still here. Kirby's playing really well for him, and you know, this is a game that they want to win, and it's very important to them.
Well, also very important to 4 seniors for the Ashland-Greenwood Blue Jays in Evan Shepard, Darren Hill, of course, Cale Jacobson, and the last senior that rounds it all out, Max Parker. And in fact, tonight, you brought me up this T-shirt that I know Evan Shepard's mom had made.
Yeah.
We're wearing and sporting.
You can see him, yeah. We got our FaceTime cam on right now. You can see us supporting our seniors, but just overall, a very special class. This is the last class that I coached on the freshman team. It's been fun to watch kids like Max Parker grow. Obviously, as Evan moved into the district, he's a great kid, and Cale. I think Coach Craven said it best on Twitter with some graphics Coach Mose put out. Cale's unseen hours really have worked to flip the culture at Ashland. 3-18 the year before, his 8th grade year, 18-6 his senior year, and how hard he works drives other guys like Max, like Evan, to put that time in. And overall, this class has really made Ashland basketball and Ashland School District better overall.
How much fun have we had calling these kids? And Darren Hill got his moment this year as well, which was so good to see because he's been so committed to this program. Evan Shepard, we got him after his sophomore year, and not only has he been a great player on the court, but my goodness, he has worked into this community, and not even worked, it's just been flawless for him as he's come into the community and the school, and he's loved by all of his students, his fellow students. And you mentioned it, Max Parker and Cale Jacobson, my goodness, how much time have those two spent in the gym really setting the standard for these guys?
Yeah, Max, you know, I remember how much time Max put in as an 8th grader after his accident, and you know, you just wanted him to find success. I remember in freshman basketball, we spent a lot of time working on catching the ball, you know, figuring out ways to make one-handed catches. You know, then he comes back for his sophomore year, he's 6'1", comes back the next year, he's 6'3", comes back this year, he's 6'6", and he'd be a great player if he was 6'3", 6'2", but he's 6'6", and he's got a wingspan that stretches the length of the gym, it feels like.
Well, he's a terrific kid as well, and Cale Jacobson, as you mentioned, a great leader of this squad, as all 4 of those seniors are. So we're going to miss him, but we still have a lot of basketball to play with him this year, don't we?
Definitely, and it really caps off tonight. You know, when we look at the Capital Conference, DC West is a school that's similar size to us. And just like I said, year in, year out, they put a good product out there. So they are a team that takes pride in a game like tonight. Good culture rises. And they want to rise tonight. Brody Travis has got a lot of pride. Kirby played extremely well against us last year. I remember I missed him on the scout, and he had 8 or 9 points for us, or for DC West. So, you know, even though Rubicek and Merrick are gone, 2 of their better scorers from last year, they got guys that are ready to step up and take those roles on.
Well, let's talk about these 2 teams. One of the things, if you like scoring, folks, this could be a fun one for you tonight because these 2 teams can really fill it up. The Blue Jays averaging almost 69 points a game. DC West in the low 60s. They've got scores. You mentioned Brody Travis. He's going on to Simpson College, by the way, to play some basketball after his career ends here. He's averaging 16 and a half. Cale Jacobson, who about 6 weeks ago was averaging about 16 points a game. He's moved his average all the way up to 18 and a half, and you know how the other Blue Jays can score. So tell us about how these two teams are going to want to get after it on the offensive side.
Yeah, DC West, you know, kind of like Boys Town a little bit. They're willing to take shots early. And especially if Brody Travis sees a window, he's going to take a shot at really a volume shooter that shoots at a high percentage. And then on the inside, you know, Kirby's a kid that just sticks out to me. He's a rebounder. He's an athlete. Spanky in there this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I wasn't sure if he graduated or not. You know, those are two guys in pregame. They're just dunking. Athletic. They have motors. And they know that while they're not getting those shots early in the possession, their opportunities come off offensive rebounds. So they're going to run and gun. And then, you know, the Blue Jays are so skilled, so deep. That might be the difference tonight is the 6th, 7th, 8th man. But both teams just want to go, and it's going to be a fun game to watch.
Well, this is an interesting matchup as well because Chip Daling, the head coach for DC West, who's done an absolutely phenomenal job. He does a great job every year, but this year, I think he's defied expectations a bit. They've already got 14 wins on their schedule. And then Jake Mose, who's built this program from the ground up and done a beautiful job this year as well with his team ranked #1. But these two guys have a long history against one another. When they were both assistant coaches, Mose at York, Daling at Fairbury, they coached for a couple of years against each other there. So they're very familiar with each other. And how does that help or hurt you as a head coach?
You know, so many times as a coach, you have your style, you have your philosophy, and that builds over years. So I know being down in Beatrice, Fairbury definitely played a specific brand of basketball. And as you take over a program and you mold your own program, you're going to take aspects of that culture and put it in. I remember York was more run and gun, where Beatrice was conservative. Mose brings that run and gun philosophy to Ashland and really amplifies it with skilled players. So, you know, you get used to guys, you talk to guys, you know guys, and you know, tendencies start to form whether you try to hide them or you try to just really wear them on your sleeve like Mose does.
Well, folks, Jordan Wallman does everything. He gave his students a night off. They really wanted to be in the student section, but Jordan, I'm going to put you to work here. If you could pan from right to left. The crowd, we are packed in here tonight at the Birdcage, and I had forgotten the crowd mic, so I had to leave and go home. And when I came back, Jordan, I literally had to park almost on the track. There is not a parking spot to be had, and you can see as Jordan pans across the crowd, there are very few seats available. Don't tell me this isn't a big conference game, huh?
It is. It's a great matchup Friday night. You know, you and I said in the Boys Town broadcast that it's worth the price of admission to come and watch, and looks like the people turned out. You know, some things are awesome to see online, and some things are just a work of art in person, so I'm glad people made the trip out tonight.
I was talking to Jeremy Travis, who, of course, the principal at DC West and a longtime coach there as well. His son, Brody Travis, he's also got a sophomore that will be playing here tonight. And he told me, he looked around and he said, Tim, this is why you do what you do. He looked at this crowd and said, this is what you want to play for on a Friday night. And so both of these towns have well represented, and it should be a fun one here in the Birdcage tonight as we've got some noise and the players are getting ready here to get the starting lineups announced at the Birdcage in Ashland, Nebraska. #1 ranked Ashland-Greenwood Blue Jays at 15-1, taking on DC West, a longtime conference foe. They come in here tonight at 14-5. So let's set it up now. First off for the Falcons, this is how they'll go. We mentioned Brody Travis. He is a 6'2" senior, averaging 16.3, shooting 44% from the field. Zach Spanky, he came up to me before the game. He said, you ready? I said, absolutely. He's done well against the Blue Jays. 6'2" senior, averaging 10.9 points a game, and he also shooting 44% from the field. Devin Lopman, a 5'9" senior, he's averaging just under 5 points a game, 3 assists a game, so he can really dish it out. And then you've got Joe Graham, a 6' senior, gets better every year, averaging 5.3 points. And Kale Dembinski getting a start tonight. He's a 6'5" junior as they go big, averaging just under 2 points a game, but he'll make a difference in the middle at 6'5". Here we go, the Big Blue, Kale Jacobson, as Jordan calls him, Too Smooth Kale. He's averaging 18.5, 6 assists a game, 7 rebounds, and 4 steals. He's joined in the backcourt by Evan Shepard, the 6'2 senior, averaging 7.8 points a game, shooting 60% from the floor. Speaking of shooting, Brooks Kissinger shooting 58%, averaging 10.9 points a game. He's a 6'2 junior. And then you've got a 6'4 junior in Cougar Konzum, averaging 8.5 and shooting 59% from the floor. And finally, Max Parker, the 6'6 senior. Oh man, he is the Energizer Bunny. He's averaging just under 11 points a game and 6 boards a game. It is capacity here tonight in the Birdcage. There's going to be some noise as Max Parker now will be going up against Dembinski. And it'll be the Blue Jays working right to left here in the Birdcage tonight. The officials throwing it up will be Matt Turnus along with Eric Whitemore and TJ Butler. Here we go. Ball up in the air, and it'll be the Falcons controlling it. Let's see if they can avoid one of these very quick starts that the Blue Jays have been famous for this year. And right now, Big Blue coming out in that man-to-man. Bounce pass in the paint. There's Travis off the glass. Nice touch by the senior, and he gets on the board early.
Good touch, just a little curl cut. He goes in, settles in around 4 feet, and DC West coming out a little 2-3 zone.
And Coach Daling choosing to zone it up here tonight as Cale Jacobson will work from the point. You hear the DC West fans chanting defense. They get it into Cale at that high post, kick it out to Shepard. Working it around. Blue Jays again trying a little backdoor cut. Cale's going to cut. Gets it up to Parker. 3-ball. Bingo! And the Blue Jays with an early lead.
Love that action. They're really taking advantage of Cale playing on the inside. Cale, like he's done all year, finds open players, and Max hits a big one.
And the number 1 ranked student body in full throat tonight here at the Birdcage. And here's a pass that's thrown away as Travis was trying to hit Graham, but they were not on the same page.
One of the most, the offense is awesome. The players are awesome. We're so skilled, but really underrated thing about the Blue Jays this year is the defense, the constant pressure, the playing in the passing lanes, just making life tough for opposing teams.
That tenacious defense that the Blue Jays play as Shepard will walk it up here on senior night. 3-2 lead early on for the Big Blue. Each team scoring on their first possession, and here's a ball knocked out of bounds off of Joe Graham. I remember Joe Graham as a sophomore. He came in the game, subbed in off the bench, and every year he's just gotten better. Here's a great look by Cale out to Brooks. He'll get in the paint. Brooks gonna dump it off to Cale underneath. Cale didn't like it. Good patience. They'll work it around. Brooks on the block. Reverse layup, no good, but he's fouled by Dembinski, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
I think patience is a great word there. Cale could have went up. He had big behind him, kicked it out. They worked the ball around. Brooks found a little lane and maybe got a better shot than a 3-guy contested Cale.
Brooks' first free throw is good. He's a 72% free throw shooter on the year. Blue Jays now up 7-2, or make that 4-2. And here comes the second one. It's up and too hard, but Evan Shepard rips the board down. Cale will work to Parker. Boy, he can sky, can't he, Shepard?
He can. He's just so athletic. To have him be the 3rd or 4th tallest guy on your starting lineup is a huge asset.
Parker feeds Jacobson, ball fake. Back out to Max, who's already hit 1 3. They're playing a little work on that left side of that 2-3 zone. Max, ball fake, gets it down to Cale. Cale really picked up his shooting from 3 of late, shooting now 25% of the year, but at one point was just 7%. And there's a turnover as quick hands by DC West. They're working it around. Lopman gets it down in the corner. Here's Spanky, has it stole by Max Parker. The senior's gonna give it up though. Max averages a steal and a half a game for a big man. That's saying something. And here's a whistle and travel on Cougar Konzum.
NSA Officials Appreciation Week. I didn't have a great look at it. But Tim, what did I tell you? Every week is NSAA Officials Appreciation Week.
From a guy who wears the stripes, and Jordan Wallman. And back the other way comes Spanky. They beat the pressure. Lopman gonna spin around, gets in the paint. No look pass to Graham. Nicely done, but then Graham travels. He might have been surprised that he got that pass from Lopman. Beautiful no look.
The press, we said it all year, is sometimes designed to put guys in tough situations. They get Lopman going downhill. He passes to Graham and maybe wasn't super comfortable in that situation.
Not many teams have pressed the Blue Jays, but Coach Daling comes out with a 2-2-1 pressure, and Coach Daly wanted to travel on Cale Jacobson, didn't get it. Cale in the paint, trying to step through, has a strip, and then Cale commits the foul. And they're going to call that on Jacobson, and that'll be his first as he fouled Travis.
DC West student section showed up in droves tonight. You can hear them letting Cale know, filling Cale in on some of the rules of basketball.
Well, if this thing stays close, Jordan Wallman, with their student body, they're loud and boisterous. The Blue Jays loud and boisterous. It could get a lot of fun in here in the birdcage as Lopman does a good job with the pressure, gets it down to Spanky, skip pass there in the corner. Here's Fisher, or make that Travis, not Fisher, and the bucket is missed, and here comes Jacobson out of there. He's in the paint, looks. Don't know where I pulled Fisher out of. Jeremy Travis would be very disappointed with me on that. That's his senior son. Jacobson gets in the paint, looks. Good job by DC West defensively, huh? Early on.
And they're really converging down on Cale.
Travis doing a good job bodying up Brooks Kissinger. Now they get it back to Cale on the block. Dembinski meets him, so he finds Shepard. 3-ball, bingo!
A little rat pass Cale does is so effective on the baseline, hitting guys with the corner kick out threes, and Evan steps up in the biggest way, hitting one.
Graham, can he answer? No, missed everything, and Shepard will rip down the board and run. Across the timeline, he's going to kick it out to Cale. Cale skip past corner. Here's Kissinger with a ball fake. Graham went for it. Now he'll attack, and he'll score, and it's 9-2.
Cale, once again, nice little look pass, but Brooks does a great job pump faking and then attacking open space, playing under control and finishing against a tall player.
And Cale almost got a steal there, and these are these deadly runs that the Blue Jays get on. It was 2-2, and all of a sudden it's 9-2. And the offense, when you say runs through a player, boy, does this offense run through Cale Jacobson.
And it does, and there's so many other skilled guys that it truly is dangerous. Cale's a man amongst boys sometimes, but we've got 5 guys and 6 guys that can really score the ball outside of Cale.
And that's exactly right, Jordan, why it is so dangerous, because he can find them. With averaging 6 assists a game. And now here's a one-handed pass from Lopman over to Spanky. DC West really needs to answer this big run as Dane Jacobson checked in the game, as Cade Bridges did as well. Here comes Travis, crossover dribble, Dembinski, 15-footer left corner, in and out. Who's going to come down with it? Graham, Jacobson, and coming there, Spanky, and a timeout by Coach Daly. With 3:07 to go, and nicely done by Spanky to make that timeout as he was sitting on the court.
High energy guy, Spanky, he's looking for his drives, maybe looking for some kick out threes, but where he's really looking to impact things is on the O glass. And there he just gets a heart ball. 50-50 ball, we talk about it sometimes, he gets one, those are huge.
Well, he cracked me up in pregame. I was walking down the court and he came up to me and he said, "Now, you got my last name right, it's Spanky." And I said, "Zach, I couldn't forget that last name." So
my question would be, what would be the adverse? Spanky.
Yeah, he's a good kid. I tell you, I enjoyed my very brief conversation with him, but you could tell he was fired up and ready for the game tonight.
I remember the name from last year.
That's right. He played great last year.
I didn't have him on my initial scouting report, and I think he had 9 points in the first half.
And so out of the timeout, Coach Daly wanted to call that and got it. And Graham just about traveled there, but he found Dembinski on the left wing. Here's Graham in the corner. Blue Jays in that man-to-man that they've been so tough at this year. Spanky's going to kick it out. Lopman open 3, and he knocks it home to make it 9-5.
Big shot. That's how you got to answer a run coming from the Blue Jays, and Lopman steps up in the biggest way.
Lopman, the best percentage three-point shooter for DC West at 45%. Knocked it home there. Here is a step through by Kissinger. He's fouled from behind, and if this is on Dembinski, this is his second.
It's not good. They're using Dembinski to kind of maybe counter some of the size the Blue Jays come with across the board. He's a big body. Showed a nice touch on that 15-footer. They definitely want to keep him in the game and keep him available.
2:31 to go first quarter. Here's the 72% free throw shooter in Kissinger, and he knocks it home.
When it's kind of Brooks, Brooks is getting in and kind of maybe getting him to lean, getting him to put himself in a compromising position and getting fouls. I think both of his fouls have been because of Brooks' layups.
And that's a big foul there because Coach Daly told me before the game, he said, "Look, we know what we're going up against. This is an incredibly talented Blue Jay squad, so we're going to go big tonight." Second free throw is up and good. Dembinski just averaging 1.8 points, but at 6'5", he really felt like that's what he needed to do. And right now, just down 6 as Fisher. Did I say Fisher again? I apologize, Mr. Travis. How do I disrespect him? He missed that little bunny in the paint. And back the other way comes Jacobson. Left baseline drive. They get it back out. Kale, open three, in and out, and the rebound down the ground.
Good action from the Blue Jays, though. Love that Kale opportunity to shoot inside-out threes.
You can see Kale getting more and more confident shooting that 3-ball this year. In the last couple of weeks. Spanky with a crossover dribble against Cougar Kanza. And there's a steal. Kale working with that right hand. Coming up the court, looks to the corner. And now the Blue Jays will settle in up 6. Bridges. Look at that ball movement. They find an open Kissinger. Can't get it to fall, and there's Spanky on the board. And they'll come the other way. Top of the key. Travis. Brody Travis, and a big shot up, no good, and there's Bridges on the board. Long pass out to Kissinger, right baseline drive. We've got a block on the way. And let's see who they whistle this on.
Man, the student sections are doing a great job tonight keeping the players informed on what they can and can't do.
The old "you can't do that" chant. Wait till they become parents. They'll be saying that all the time, right, Kendra? Here's the pass down the block. Kale had a man fall down, so he took advantage of it and scored, and it's 13-5.
Tried to pull the rug out from underneath him, but Kale went ahead and took advantage of that wide open layup. Good job playing under control, playing in the post, and valuing your space.
And Gaston just checked in. He normally starts, but tonight they went with size. And here's a little spin move by Spanky in the paint. Great job by Kanzam defensively to deny that shot. Spanky comes out, takes a 3, can't get it to fall. There's Jacobson. The gym rat with the lead out. Here's Kissinger. Look at the ball movement, open. Shepard, oh my goodness, it wouldn't fallen off the right hand of Brooks Kissinger. Great job by Spanky to keep that alive.
Yeah, energy guy. Got his 3 attempt on the other side. You know, see Brody Travis stepping into a dribble, little 1-2 footwork 3. Those are the shots DC West wants, and they're willing to take those.
37.1 to go first quarter. Blue Jays are up 8. It's Coach Mose and Tyler Craven having a conversation here on the sideline as they need a towel to wipe the ball off, and it looks like Max Parker, well, he'd be coming in. He's sitting near the scoreboard. And by the way, folks, we're going to have Mike Sauter on at halftime from NEB Preps. Of course, that is part of the Strive franchise as well. And
Kendra, we were one up in Kendra. She had Live on tonight talking about the building.
Oh, no, wait a minute. You're the one who said 1 up. I didn't say that. That's your boss, by the way.
Yeah, right. That's for Suzanne.
We're down to 25 seconds. Hey, I'll tell you what, they're both A-listers. I'll tell you that with Mike Sauter and Jason Leibel. Top of the key, they go to Lopman. Now Gaston, left baseline drive. Pull-up jumper, and Gaston got it to fall, 13-7. Blue Jays coming the other way. You hear the crowd chanting out the time. We're down to 4 seconds. Brooks, long 3-ball, top of the key, and the rebound down to Spanky. Brooks didn't have a choice there. He had to kind of force that one up. And so we played 1 quarter. And DC West, I would imagine Jordan would be very happy to know they held the Blue Jays down to 13. And we've got us a game going into quarter number 2.
Yeah, that's definitely, single-digit quarter is what we're aiming for while the Blue Jays got their single-digit quarter. They really weren't too far off from getting held to 1 on their own. So it's definitely a good feeling to kind of survive that first run and then ride the rest of the quarter out, only allowing 6 points.
Well, and the Blue Jays, as you mentioned, just those 7 points given up. One of the things that they wanted to do tonight, Jordan, coming in here, is they felt like they had to hold Spanky and Travis to under their 27-point average. They were hoping to keep them under 20. And early on, I've got Spanky was not yet scored, Travis with 2, so that's a pretty good start for the Big Blue.
Yeah, it is. And Travis is a volume shooter, so if you let him see a couple go down, you know, he's an emotional kid. He kind of rides that wave of making a shot, getting hyped up, making another shot. Big crowd tonight. Really got to work to keep Travis in check.
Well, he is a terrific player. As we mentioned earlier, he'll be going to Simpson College. the Blue Jays have Evan Shepard, who will be running track at Midland. Cale Jacobson's going to go somewhere big time. We know that.
Max Parker kind of has. Well, he's been in contact with Simpson as well. So
oh, listen, that kid, he is such a player. The ultimate team player, can play so well in the paint. And here it is. He kicks it out to an open Jacobson. Bingo! And it's now 16-7. And that's what we're talking about with Max.
Yeah, love that. You know, big shot from Cale. Love the fact that he just continues to step into threes and be confident.
Max gave it right back up, and here comes Travis, going to kick it out. Spanky in the paint, right-handed layup. There's some athleticism by Spanky to make it 16-9.
That's what he does extremely well. Just gets off his feet and explodes to the rim, shows a left-handed drive, stops in his tracks, and goes in strong with the inverted finish.
Falcons fighting hard, and the longer they stay in this thing and keep it under 10 or 12, more confidence they're going to gain against the #1 team in the state. That 2-3 zone has been working well for Coach Daling. Good move by him tonight. And here's the pass that's knocked out of bounds by Travis. It'll stay Blue Jay ball.
And really what that 2-3 does is it allows you to converge on Cale as he drives. So every time he drives, you're seeing the top guys come in, big man in the middle is coming up with his hands up, and it really is just a team commitment to the ball.
Bingo for Cougar! And it's 19-9.
You know, Blue Jays coming out, they're having a hot second half, 6 points already, or second quarter, 6 points already. DC West has got to find a way to get stops.
6-2 the scoring here in this second quarter. Spanky will reverse the ball. And here comes Travis in the face of Brooks Kissinger. Kissinger with a good job defensively, but he just knocked it down.
Yeah, Brooks drew the assignment tonight, but, you know, Travis is going to get a couple of those loose. He is a very good shooter.
Max, will he answer? No, but Dembinski gets the board. And here's a long out. Gaston, ball fake. He's going to attack the rim over Shepard. And just like that, they've cut it to 5.
Really good job taking advantage of a closeout there. Evan tries to step up for the charge take, but Gaston under control goes up instead of into Evan.
Gaston averaging 9.2. Shepard gives up a 3. Blue Jays working around this 2-3 zone. As Kissinger will find Cale, feeling it. He'll get in the paint, though, and he's doubled. Dembinski, the 6'5 Dembinski, forces him to kick it out. And here's Coop. Skip pass over to Shepard, who dumps it down to Cale, finds a cutting Kissinger. Left-handed layup, no good, but he's fouled, and that could be Dembinski's 3rd.
It's not good, and it's Brooks again on the drive. As soon as the ball ends up in the outside hands of Cale, Brooks drives off the top end and just gets in a situation for one good power dribble and a finish.
They call that on Spanky, so Dembinski did not pick up his 3rd there, Jordan. Here's the free throw by Kissinger, up and good. I've got Brooks now 4 of 5 on the night from the line, so that 72% number is going to get even better. Make that 5 of 6. And it will be Lopman to bring it up. Wearing that black headband tonight for the Falcons. Here comes Travis. Good dribble behind the back. Dumps it off to Dembinski, who finds Gaston underneath, but a block from behind, and the Blue Jays are running. Here comes Cale. Loses it. Taps it out. Brooks is going to attack again. Goes right at Dembinski, who's got 2. Here's Cougar with the putback, and he'll get it to roll in.
If you're going to challenge the big at the rim, it's a great time to look for offensive rebounds. Brooks challenges Dembinski again, and Cougs takes advantage of, gets a rebound and finishes.
There's that double team. That is just pure smart. Here is Lopman. He can really shoot the 3. He's 1 of 2 tonight, though. And Shepard running. Brooks Kissinger knew that Dembinski had 2, and they're going to keep attacking him. Evan Shepard not able to finish that time, though. But again, smart, smart, smart. This is coaching. This is players. They know they can go after the 6'5 senior. Gaston in the paint. Blue Jays up 9, but the Falcons with the ball as Dembinski's going to hold it and find Spanky, and the Blue Jays going to double right there. That's where they've been tough in that defense, haven't they?
Yeah, that's a big focal point for them, is that trap at the high post or trap at the top of the key and then fill the passing lanes.
Spanky attacks and off the glass against Cale. That's not easy to do.
It's not. It really shows how strong and athletic Spanky is, that he can finish over an outstretched Cale Jacobson.
I love the composure for the Falcons right now. The Blue Jays very composed as well. They're not showing any worry. They're just going after it. Here comes Jacobson. Lost the ball. Stolen by Spanky. Kale was, I think, going to do a one-handed pass there, and it just slipped off his fingertips. As Travis will go left baseline. Reverse layup won't go, but my goodness, that would have brought the crowd to their feet. If Travis is able to bring that home, he'll go to the line to shoot 2 as he was fouled.
That's why he's a college basketball player, because he goes in, has some high-level athletes, tall, long athletes going to contest him, and finds a way to get a shot off.
Travis's first free throw, a little flat and off the back of the rim. Of course, Brody Travis's dad, Jeremy, was a heck of a basketball player at Midland. And he could really score. I said to him tonight, I said, Jeremy, now you were a shooter, right? And he said, I had to be. And he said, and I had to shoot from about 26 feet because I couldn't get too close. Here's the second free throw because they'd come out and get him, it sounds like. And that second free throw is up and good for Brody Travis to make it 23-17. The Falcons hanging around, getting the attention of the #1 ranked team in Class C1. They get it into Jacobson. Great no-look to his brother. Dane has a hard time handling though, but Kale will bail him out. Gets it out to Shepard. Bingo!
50-50 balls once again, but I'd say in the adverse, one of the reasons why DC West is able to hang in this game so well right now is they're really taking care of the basketball. Getting a lot of shot attempts, DC West is.
Sorry, I stepped on you there,
partner.
You're good. Cade Bridges reaches in, makes the foul. How about that older brother bailing out younger brother, Dane? You think that's happened a few times in the Jacobson household?
Oh, Kale probably don't want to admit it, but I'm sure it has, and Dane probably don't want to admit it either.
Here comes Spanky, working against Shepard. 26-17. Blue Jays, what a backdoor cut by Graham, but it went off his left shoulder, so they get it back to Dubinsky. Dubinsky can really pass the basketball. Made some great looks inside tonight as here comes Travis high off the glass. Can't get it to fall, but he'll be fouled by Cougar Konzum. And Brody Travis says, let's go. I mean, he's just attacking the rim tonight.
He is. He's aggressive, and he keeps coming off those curl cuts. When a guy is working down the lane, you think he's going to try to get to the rim, but he's honestly got great touch, and he's okay settling around that 4-foot, 5-foot range and just kind of showing a little float off the glass.
He's shooting 75% from the free throw line, but just 1 of 3 tonight. Make him 2 of 4. As it's an 8-point Blue Jay lead. Kale will bring it up. Man, Blue Jays just haven't been able to get their transition game going either, have they, tonight? And a big part of that is what DC West is doing.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to let the action happen a little bit.
Here comes Bridges. Look out. He comes in off the bench, and he's a firecracker.
Well, that's exactly why, because Blue Jays is explosive. But, no, DC West, they're getting shot attempts. They're not getting steals.
Look at Travis answer. My goodness, tightly contested. Shooting from 25 feet, knocks it home.
He's an energy guy. This is important for him. Ashland has a lot of really good guards, want to be college basketball players, and he definitely thinks he has something to prove tonight.
Very tough shot. Here comes Konzum to answer. We've seen 3 in a row.
Gee, Mani, proof's on fire right now. The Nets might need to be replaced. Guys are filling it up.
I mean, to tell you, this is high-level shooting. We said we'd see it tonight. We're seeing it. Here's Graham with his team down 11. Just under 2 to go in the second quarter. Will Cougar get a steal? He does. Great read by Cougs. Laid out. Jacobson. Kale. Left-handed drive. Gonna kick it out. Evan will try that baseline. Beautiful job by Graham cutting that off. Here comes the sophomore with a skip past Dane Jacobson. Look at that ball movement, Jordan. My goodness, look at it. And they finally get to Bridges, open 3, and it won't go, but it's tipped out of bounds by Evan Shepard. Yeah. But I got to imagine Coach would be happy with that possession.
It's really good ball movement, and then, Cougs is just doing a lot of little things on that. On Dane's reversal, when he got it, Cougs hit him a flare screen. Dane drove, defense collapsed, he kicks out to Cade. Those are good reads. On the other end, Cougs is playing post defense, exactly like most teaches it and getting steals.
I don't mean to be critical here, but, man, the Nebraska corners could take a page out of this book of ball movement. That is some good stuff. And here comes Gaston. Gets it into Travis, goes all the way to the paint. What a pass to Dubinsky! Oh, he threaded the needle.
Yeah, Travis is feeling himself right now. He's hitting shots. He's making passes on the inside. He's playing ball.
Man alive. He is fun to watch. There's a lot of guys out there that are making this game very enjoyable. And here comes Cale Jacobson. He's one of them. Kissinger down to Bridges, feeds into Kale. See what Kale will do from there. Finds it wide open, Kissinger, and look out! It is raining threes tonight in the Birdcage.
Those are just right reads. Kale's getting the ball at 8 feet. He's comfortable there, but he makes the right read and kicks it out to Brooks.
Gets it to 12. Here comes Spanky. It's Travis again. Ho-ho! This is a shooting clinic. Steph Curry, take notice.
Run and gun. Both teams want to do it. NEB Preps game of the week. Playing ball.
Now Mike Sarter will have something to write about here, as these two teams are filling it up.
Flare screens on the backside coming from the Blue Jays.
Here comes Jacobson. Finds Kissinger. Will we have another? Off the back of the rim. Max keeps it alive. And wait a minute, we got a whistle. And I believe they're going to call a foul on Parker. Let's see. It will only be the 5th team foul. So they're going to talk it over here. The officials, I'm not sure what the conversation will be. Oh, they probably need to put a little time on the clock, huh?
Well, that's what they're trying to figure out right now. You know, I think everyone would be all right if they just called it, but they're probably going to end up putting about 0.8, 1.2 left.
Officials come over. Yeah, they're going to say, I read his lips there. I think he said 0.8.
That was
a good call.
I'm just going to act like that wasn't a lucky guess.
Well, Grant, and there it is, 0.8. Jordan Wallman was right.
Yeah, that's just what you fall back. That's what you fall back. Kendra says it's 0.3. You just fall back on 0.8. You know, it's just like that's what everyone does.
Here comes Graham. Will they get a shot off here? They will with Spanky, a bullet that's going to be wide right. And so we go into half at 35-26. And I got to tell you, some shooting. We previewed it before the game. We said there's going to be some shooting. And I got to tell you, Jordan, there have been a bunch of threes here, and it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, you know, Blue Jays, maybe their three-pointers a little more spread out. Evan's gotten in on the mix. Brooks and Max all got in on it. But, you know, on the other end, Lopman's got one. But Travis, he's really he's a sight tonight. He's getting after it. It's important. I just feel like when I watch Travis, it's important. He cares, and he really, really wants to win and be successful.
Well, if my numbers are right here, and I probably missed one, I've got 8 threes made for Ashland-Greenwood, 4 for DC West. That's a total of 12. And who knows, I may have missed one, but that's pretty impressive. When you in 2 quarters, in 16 minutes, you got 12 trays that have fallen down.
Yeah, and that's a lot. You know, I don't know what else to say about that, but it shows teams willing to shoot and teams that can shoot, and it makes for a fun basketball game.
Well, I can't wait. We mentioned that Mike Sauter of NEB Preps, which is a division of Strive Sports, he'll be joining us here at the half to get his thoughts on it as well, because he's seen some high-level basketball this year, and I got to imagine from a shooting perspective he's going to be very impressed with this. But, Jordan, your thoughts if you are, if you're Coach Mose here, what are you talking about here at halftime with your team?
You know, that's a great question. You know, the scout definitely had Travis's name all over it, and right now he's getting loose. I know Brooks was pretty proud to take that assignment tonight, and he's done a good job guarding some guys this year. You know, let's not lose him. And Spanky obviously is a great player, finding success. Lopman's got a 3, but you know, the scout. Let's get Travis on the scout and let's figure that out.
Well, it's a pleasure here to have Mike Sauter joining us here. He's working hard. He had to grab a coach here at halftime, but Mike Sauter of NEB Preps, of course, part of the Strive family. And Mike, so great to have you up here, but I'm just curious to get your thoughts. I have it for 12 threes here in this first half.
Yeah.
You're here tonight because of the pinnacle game of the week,
Yep.
but it is raining threes. Tell me your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I mean, the one key stat in the first half is Kale's got 5-6 assists, and they're all on threes.
Yeah.
The first half, or the second quarter, they made, 8 threes, I think? Or 6 of 8, or 6 of 9, something crazy from 3. I mean, and they're still only up 9. That's like, okay. like defensively, it might need to, and some turnovers, right? It's been a factor, but if they can shoot like this, you're not going to lose if you shoot like this.
Yeah, and you know, we've seen some great players here tonight. You already mentioned Kel Jacobson.
Yeah.
We know what all those shooters on the Blue Jay side,
Yeah.
but hey, Brody Travis is filling it up too, and he's going to Simpson College.
Yeah,
Talk about what your thoughts on him.
he's really grown offensively. He can really, really score, as we've seen. Gets a little bit streaky at times, you know, it kind of forces some shots and stuff, but they let him do it, and that's fine because they'll go in. He can make a crazy, like, between two-guy pass underneath the basket that he made in the second quarter, which was remarkable.
Yeah.
And then hit a long three. I mean, he can really fill it up, and you got to be careful because the odds of Ashland-Greenwood shooting it that well in the second half, I mean, that's you can't shoot it better than they did in the first half.
And that 2-3 zone seems to be slowing the Blue Jays down a little bit. Great move by Coach Daling, but the Blue Jays seem to be very composed.
Yeah. You know, I even commented a little bit at the desk down there. I said, man, I'd like Kale to be just a little more, like just go, right? Like, what are you waiting for? But it's worked because he's found open teammates for threes that have been big shots. Like maybe in the second half you see him maybe get a little more aggressive, mid-range pull-up. He's turned down about 3 or 4 mid-range jump shots that he normally would shoot. So maybe that's something where he'll, you know, in the second half, that's something to look out for.
And I'm going to let Jordan Wallman get in here, but before I do, I've got to ask you. I heard you on 1620 not too long ago talking about Cale Jacobson.
Yes.
Tell me your thoughts on him. You've seen him now twice this year.
Right.
You know, tell me your thoughts, in your opinion, where he's going to go.
I think he's a Summit League guy. He's kind of the D2 Summit League tweener guy that we have around here a lot. He's a great athlete, obviously. Fantastic kid. When I say that, what I mean is, like, will not be a locker room cancer. He's a culture kid. You want those kind of kids on your team and in your locker room. Will he be a star? Probably not at a Division I level. Will he be a star at the D2 level? Could be, but he will help any team win no matter where he goes. I honestly think he's good enough to play in the Summit League somewhere. That's my opinion.
We've got to ask you, too, and then I'm going to finally quit hogging you here and give it to my partner. But Max Parker, I don't know how familiar you are with Max.
Yeah.
We love him here. He's got a great story. As you know, he's overcome that losing his left hand, and he's fought through it. Tell me your thoughts on him as well.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's able to play and be effective with one hand, basically, is phenomenal. Someone should take a chance on it, right? Like just the story alone is worth taking a chance on, and overcoming and battling and kind of, I mean, he's been through adversity, so that won't affect him because, you know, college basketball at any level isn't easy, and the fact that he's gone through that and been able to fight through it should help. If it's a Midland or something like that, I would think would take a shot at least at it.
Without a doubt, and we can speak for a culture guy as well, right? He is a big-time culture guy. But Jordan, you jump in here.
You know, Mike, you see a lot of C1 basketball.
Yeah.
You know, we see Ashland kind of flipping back and forth from the 1 and 2 spot with Kearney Catholic. DC West is in here tonight, and they're not even in the top 10. You know, speak to the overall state of C1 basketball.
Yeah, it's C1. I've said this a little bit all year. C1, to me, the top 5 in C1, maybe 7 are the top 5 for sure are top 10 Class B teams, in my opinion, this year. It kind of speaks to Class B, but it also speaks to C1 and how tough it is. It is really tough this year. I mean, I saw Auburn last night. Yeah. I saw Freeman and Malcolm last night. I mean, C1 is really, really tough.
And Auburn and Freeman have a
tomorrow night. Yeah, that's going to be a big one. I'm going to try and make it there. Yeah. It's at 8 in Weeping Water, but those two teams. I mean, Kearney Catholic's good. I've seen them play. They are physical, like really physical. So C1 is tough, and whoever makes it to state in C1, just making it this year is something. Yeah. And if you are able to win it, now it kind of helps that they've spread. It's a 6-day tournament where it's kind of day off-ish, and like that sort of helps a little bit with some rest and prepare. It helps you. It'll help a ton. I know. The Class A coaches that I've talked to, it's every other day. They love that because then they can get a full practice, full scout in, get some rest. If someone is banged up a little bit, they can if an ankle or something, it gives them extra time. So that certainly helps. But C1 it's a bear. It is absolutely a bear. Just look, I mean, Ashland-Greenwood's beaten. If you look at it, Ashland-Greenwood's beaten how many Class B teams?
They beat Platteview.
Right.
They lost the Title I to
Roncalli, yeah, in the holiday tournament here, right?
And am I missing another B? I think they're 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1, but we've also played Milford, Wahoo.
Right,
Platteview.
Wahoo's beaten Platteview twice.
Platteview beat Beatrice the other night.
Yeah, Concordia's beaten Blair and Platteview, and like, I mean, C1 is really tough. It is really tough.
You know, Mike, one
You're
other
fine.
thing I've got to ask you here.
It's fine.
You're the Pinnacle
Bank Game of the Week.
Mm-hmm. The Blue Jays, I think, have been voted twice for the Game of the Week.
Yes.
So what is it about the faithful here
You know,
at Ashland-Greenwood?
it's something that, so I go to a lot of games, right? Like, I mean, I go to at least 3, sometimes 6 a week. And the Game of the Week is always, I want it to be special. I want it to be like unique and do different stuff than what I would normally do at every other game I go to. So that's why I do like the halftime coach or something like that. Like I do a little bit of different stuff. And I think the people in Omaha, I live in Omaha, the people in Omaha and the Class A schools in the metro and stuff, they're just used to me being around, right? Yeah. Like, so they're like, oh, he's here again, whatever. But when I come here, it's a little more special. So I think that's why it's voted on, you know, why I've been to a lot of different places this year than just Metro games, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I love it. And I love being able to see different teams. I'm the one that picks the matchups every week, and I kind of do it on purpose every week, you know, which games I want to go to. Or if there's one big one that I know I want to go to in Class A or B or C or D or whatever, I kind of work around that to pick the right games to then I can actually go to that huge matchup. So
and you can't beat this crowd tonight.
No, yeah. I mean, this is the second time I've been here this year, and like, you just nowhere to park. I had to park in the street. I couldn't park in the parking lot. I told Mr. Jacobson, I'm like, you should have reserved me a parking spot at least. And
it's a bit of a walk, isn't
but
it?
It's a big deal though. Like, it's kind of cool, like to have a packed house every night. Right? I mean, it's probably been this way every night.
Pretty much, yeah.
On the weekends, at least, right?
Yeah.
So,
well,
the Wahoo game, like, there was people were sitting on the stage.
That was absurd.
Yeah, you couldn't fit more people in here. The fire marshal would have kicked people out. But he was probably here watching.
Well, you're going nowhere. You watch this second half.
Yes, I will.
We love your work on
Thank you.
preps.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming up here.
Yeah, thanks. And thank you guys for being a Strive school. There, you know, NEB Preps is a division of Strive. I work closely, obviously, with Taylor and those guys and Eric. They're fantastic. And the education side is what Strive is all about. It's not just about streaming. It's about giving kids opportunities. And that's something kind of we're focusing on a little bit more. I know on the Strive side. I know for us at NEB Preps, game's getting ready to start. But our mission statement is to celebrate the story differently. And that's what we're trying to do every day.
Well, you do that for sure.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you so much for coming up. All right, Mike Sauter of NEB Prep. So good to have him.
It kind of stinks he caught us on a night where we gave the kids the night off.
Yeah, and Mark, we are so sorry. We're going to bump you to the post game here, buddy, but it's not often that we get Mike Sauter to come on up here, and unfortunately, the great Mark Adele, we will have him and his thoughts in the post game as we were not able to work him in. So we're getting ready to start this third quarter. And Jordan, boy, that's enlightening stuff when you get a chance to listen to him, huh?
It is, you know, and Mike does so much for the game. He gives so much to the games. It's kind of fun to hear his perspective, and he said some nice things about Ashland. So I'll tell you, he definitely knows the way down here. We've gotten a couple big games in football and basketball, so glad to have him in the building.
It really is, and it will be DC West ball here to start this third quarter. And as Mike said, you know, as great as the Blue Jays have shot, these Falcons only down 9, and it'll be Evan Shepard, Cale Jacobson, Max Parker, Cougar Conzum as a body flies, and Brooks Kissinger. Here is Brody Travis, who had a sensational first half. Spanky with the ball, Zach Spanky. You got Joe Graham, of course, Devin Lopman, and last but not least, Cale Dembinski. And here comes Travis in the paint. Floater missed, and the rebound coming down to Kissinger.
You notice right off the bat, Cale's taking on Travis.
Great look to Shepard on the cut. He misses it on a great defensive play by Dembinski. Max Parker trying to finish, but Dembinski making his presence felt in the middle tonight, isn't he?
He is. You know, even on the other side, playing in the middle of the 2-3 zone in the first half, you know, every time Cale drove, Mike talked about how you'd like to see him be a little more aggressive. Well, He's got 6'5", 230, 240 sitting in front of him.
Now, the only thing I am going to say, I loved everything that Mike said except one thing.
I know what it
Cale
was,
Jacobson may not be a star.
Oh,
I'm going to say no
he's
matter
a
where
star.
he goes, he's going to be a star.
UNO take him. Drake take him.
And here comes Travis with a long 3-ball. He's going to be a star at Simpson College. Back the other way comes Shepard. Alley-oop underneath to Cale. Kicks it out. Kissinger swings around. Here comes Cougar Consum. Oh, he got robbed. That thing spun around 3 times. Lopman set up the offense here for the Falcons. Down 9. Neither team has scored after this flurry of scoring. Here comes Cale on the steal. Will he ram it home? No, he's fouled. He'll score as Travis fouled him on the way to the rim. And it is now an 11-point Blue Jay lead.
They're talking down here. I don't know what they're gonna figure out right here.
Well, they're going to say an intentional foul on Brody Travis, and Coach Daling is not happy with the call. And the only thing I'm going to say on that is Cale knocked it home, right? He hit the layup.
one, yeah.
Yeah. So you wonder if it's intentional if you let him score, but this is one of those 50-50 calls, isn't it?
The saying is you got to go for the ball. And I think, the question was there, maybe it wasn't a super harmful play because of how strong Cale is, but if we are not going for the ball, we're going to get that call. The old 4-point play coming
That's
from Cale.
right, because intentional, he'll get 2 free throws. That's right. And then the Blue Jays will get the basketball. Second one rolls.
Well, then
around
does he
the
get he should get 1 more free throw. It's a 5-point play. Because he's going to get the and 1.
Oh,
it's
and then the 2. You're
play.
right. Jordan, you should be teaching math. Here comes this third
Oh,
one.
Cale.
Oh, can't knock it home. 39-26. This could be reminiscent of that Fort Calhoun game where a very, very tight fourth quarter and then a big technical ejection and the Blue Jays go on a big run. This game was tightly contested, and now the Blue Jays up 13. Could they go up 15 or 16? Kissinger in the paint. They kick it out. Max, good open 3 look. Bingo!
I mean, that's a 7-point possession for the Blue Jays. That's crazy. That's a quarter in itself in points.
That might take the wind out of the sails of a normal team. Let's see how the Falcons respond here. As Spanky loses it again. We got a whistle. And a foul, I think, inside on the Blue Jays. Let's see. Yep, it's going to be, what do we have here, Jordan? I didn't see.
You can say kick on Cougs.
Thank you. Here comes the inbound. Spanky, he says, I'm going to shoot this thing. And it won't go. Rebound down to Parker, the senior. Rips down another board. Skip pass over to Kissinger. Inside is Shepard. Here comes Brooks on the drive over Dembinski. Scores!
So many times this year the Blue Jays have come out and had a torrent pace. DC West is going to take timeout and leaving halftime right here. Blue Jays on a big run.
Well, you got to feel a little bit here for the Falcons because it was kind of a 50-50 call, and that was a big, huge swing. They get 5 points, right? And then they get a 3, so that was an 8-point possession for the Big Blue.
I'd say that doesn't happen every day, but I literally don't know how often that's happened in the game of basketball. Potential 5-point play, miss a free throw, get the ball back and hit a 3. But we said it. Travis is a great player. Sauter kind of said that he's a little streaky. He runs off emotions, and he's probably a little frustrated. Cale took that assignment on after a great first half, and he's kind of looking to take the layup away from Cale and kind of hurt his team a little bit with that.
Well, the officials tonight, Matt Turnus, Eric Whitemore, and TJ Butler, they had a long conference over that call, and they end up deciding that it was an intentional foul. And so the Blue Jays have had that big run that oftentimes dooms opposing teams. And we got 5:46 to go here in the third quarter, and it's an 18-point lead for the number 1 ranked team in Class C1. And Dembinski, as Parker went for that steal, wasn't able to quite get there. Here comes Travis, step back over Cale, he blocks it. And now the Blue Jays running. Here's a lead out to Shepard. Shepard's going to dribble out, finds Brooks. Look at that move, and they're going to call a hook on Brooks, and I think that was a good call. He got his left arm around the defender.
You know, just about any time a ref calls a hook, that's going to probably be a pretty good call. It's just not something you see a lot in the game. You know, if a ref's going to go out of his way to call that as gaining an advantage, there's very few that I probably disagree with.
Folks, this Jordan Wallman is incredibly talented. Here's a 3-ball by Spanky just off the front of the rim, and there's Shepard, and I'll finish that thought in a minute. As to why he's so talented. You just want me to stop there?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, he is running the camera tonight. He gave his students a night off because they've been working hard. And here's a 3-ball by Shepard. He's working hard. Evan Shepard makes it a 21-point game. And the Blue Jay students are singing songs. And now we got a foul on Max Parker, who was going for the block. I love Max's energy, though. Look at him. He gets fired up. The Energizer buzzing.
Moses telling him to play. He's just play. No, but it's electric. You know, we talk about Travis being a motion player. You know, Max is an emotion player. You know, he's looking for a big play right now.
And they bounce it in off of Parker, and Parker rejects it. I mean to tell you. He was a Nebraska volleyball player that time, swatting that thing back. It took a libero to track it down, I think, Jordan, midcourt. Here comes Spanky. Spanky down on the block, dribbles through, and he's pushed out of bounds by Cougar Konzum.
Well, I'll tell you, Kale was on the ball there, and he's done that to a couple guys this year. And when Travis tried it, I don't think Max was too happy about it. He just kind of swung at it.
He did. He's averaging a block and a half a game, is the 6'6" Parker. And when he gets one, he gets it with authority. Here comes Graham. We got 4:19 to go. Spanky working off that left side, working against the sophomore Dane Jacobson, who checked in. Spanky off the glass, won't fall. Man, I like this kid's game, though. Zach Spanky.
He's getting 2 feet, and he's getting to good spots. Those are shots that go in.
Here's a little skip pass over to Jacobson. Jacobson in the paint. Here's Bridges. He's been feeling it from beyond the arc tonight. Parker with a little bit of a bobble and a travel. Just got a hair of a step in front of himself. And now a timeout by Coach Mose. 3:54 to go. Coach Mose not happy, even though the Blue Jays up 47-26. And listen, this has been a very emotional week for Coach Mose. We mentioned last week he lost his grandmother, Mary Ann, and the funeral was today. And Coach Mose went up to North Dakota. And obviously got back today here just before the game. But we know that all the folks up there at Mary Ann's Driftwood Lounge in Wahpeton, North Dakota, they all like to hang out there. They're going to raise a glass to her tonight if they haven't already. And he's been coaching with a heavy heart. But you know, this is something that, again, we mentioned last week. His grandmother is very, very proud of this young guy. Yeah,
just even in Moses' conversations, you can tell the impact she had. You know, he had a heavy heart this week, and you know, you want to, you know, it's important for the kids to go on as business as usual, but at the same time, it's okay to be affected when loved ones go, and we're thankful that they listen in, and we love our fans up in North Dakota.
Big focus there by Coach Mose, as now it's Gaston who goes down here to the corner. 3-ball by Spanky, just off, and the rebound down to Jacobson. Lead out to Max. Max gonna attack. He'll take the right-handed layup. And the Blue Jays up 49-26.
You know, Max, he's long, he gets the dunks down, but he also uses his length to get around guys and finish in transition. That's a smooth finish from Parker.
And there's the transition game, Jordan, that we talked about that was a bit missing. It's Travis with a step back. Now he's going to try to dribble around Kale. Kale with the quick hands. Went off of Travis's left knee and out of bounds.
You know, you can kind of see DC West looking for something. Spanky's kind of upping his volume of shooting, and Travis really trying to find opportunities, but that can just be tough when Kale's guarding you.
We've got 3:11 to go here, third quarter. Blue Jays up 23, and Evan Shepard trying to work against Travis. Dane Jacobson in the game. There's his brother Kale. Got Max Parker and Kay Bridges. Here's a pass corner. Shepard, 3-ball, no good. Dane trying to keep it alive, and he does, and it went off the right hand of Spanky.
You know, it's just those small chances that you have to create extra opportunities for yourself. Could very easily be playing defense right now, but instead you got a baseline out of bounds.
Inbounds to Jacobson. Dane with the ball. Dane averaging just over 5 points a game, 2 assists a game, and somewhat limited minutes. So he's doing a great job distributing that basketball. Bridges gets a pick. There's the roll. Went out of bounds off of Dembinski. And Dembinski's pointing at Max saying, hey, that went off you, admit it. Max not giving it up, though.
That might be a hard thing to get Max to admit in the middle of a game.
Oh, Max won't give that up. Here comes Jacobson. Oh, great move by Spanky, but they said he took an extra step. Hill, I don't think agrees with that call, but he's doing a good job compartmentalizing that. And out goes Shepard and Parker, 2 of the seniors that we celebrate tonight, with a great career here at Ashland-Greenwood. Great kids. I mean to tell you, these 4 seniors, super kids. As Spanky goes to the hole, can't get it off the glass. Bridges with the board. Brooks with a crossover. Here comes Coog. He's attacking Dembinski. Can't get it to fall. Spanky will pull that a board. Crossover by Spanky. Quick hands by Coog. Coog leads out Kissinger, who loses it off of Brooks' head. That had to hurt. That got slapped right into his noggin there, Jordan.
I tell you, basketballs are kind of heavy, too. They smart a little bit.
Spanky in the paint. Reaching by Kale, but not able to track it down. Look at Kale go. He is just harassing these ball handlers for DC West, as are all the Blue Jays. Gaston. Blue Jay defense working hard. We got a minute and a half to go. Travis, Kale, this is a great matchup. You pay money for this, and it's stripped and stolen. 2 seniors battling. Kissinger on the block. He's fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. How about that matchup with Travis and Jacobson?
You know, right now DC West is just kind of looking for that offense they had in the first. Travis is really trying to ISO Kale, really looking for opportunities to jab and get by him, but I tell you, Kale's a strong kid. He's a tough guy to get by.
3rd foul, by the way, on Travis. Here's a free throw by Brooks. He's having a night at the line.
And I love the mentality of, obviously, Kale's a big-time basketball player. Travis, highly skilled himself. I like that he won't back down from him. But, man, that's a tall task.
It's been a great battle all night when those 2 have been on each other. Now, Brooks has had Travis a lot of the time tonight. Brooks Kissinger. And right now, Brooks is on Spanky. Drake Zimmerman checks in the game. A talented sophomore for the Blue Jays. Dembinski will get it out to Travis. They're going to work a little pick and roll. Dembinski goes up over Bridges, gets his own miss, and follows it up.
That was good by Cade. I thought maybe they would send that one, but hey, you know, that's why they get paid the big bucks to work the game. They didn't see it the same way I did.
Bridges 5'9", Dembinski 6'5", and Cade took him on. Here comes Brooks, has it stripped, but look at those quick hands from Kissinger. Able to track it back. 40 seconds to go in the 3rd. Blue Jays cruising along here, 50-28 against their Nebraska Capital Conference rival, DC West. Bridges attacks hard off the glass. And Bridges still hasn't missed a 2-point shot on the year.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts? February 4th. Now he's 9 of 9 from 2, but still, back comes Gaston off the glass, won't go. We've got a foul on the Big Blue, and Gaston will go to the line to shoot 2.
It's a good call. I like that call a lot. Dane kind of showed up late and then just kind of stuck his hands out there. Yeah, that's a crazy stat that Cade still hasn't missed a 2-pointer this year.
Man, this Blue Jay team can shoot, can't they?
That is like, I'm trying to think of an adjective to describe it. That's astronomical to be this far in the year and to be shooting 100% from 2.
You know who would be happy with what you just said?
Clayton Anderson.
That's right. Astronomical.
Hastings College. His stuff was at Hastings College, and then I showed up here, and Leibel brought him into my room one day, and I was starstruck. He says, "You know who Clayton Anderson is?" I said, "We got a whole building named after him."
You know, here comes the 2nd free throw by Gaston. It's up and good, of course. For those of you who don't know who Clayton Anderson is, he's a Nebraska astronaut, graduated here from Ashland-Greenwood in 1977. He was in a star-studded class that year, too, with Jeff Rakes, who was one of the initial 5 or 6 employees of Microsoft. And another brilliant gentleman, the last name of Green. Here's a three-pointer put up by Evan Shepard that won't go. But the Green family, who went on to be, I believe, a physicist at Harvard University. So that was a talent-laden class in 1977. But you talk about talent-laden. How about the Blue Jays with this 52-29 lead going in against another talent-laden team in the DC West Falcons?
Yeah, DC West 14-5 this year. 3rd place finish in the Capital Conference tournament. For Calhoun, the number 2 team in Capital Conference. They're getting a lot of top 10 votes, and they're always sticking around. So this is a good team. They lost a lot of scoring, and they're really finding their identity. The Blue Jays really took advantage of that 3rd quarter and really put the pressure on.
How about this finish for DC West? They get the number 1 ranked Ashland-Greenwood Blue Jays tonight. Then they play Conestoga 7-9. Then they get the number 6th ranked Platteview Trojans in Class B on February 10th. And on February 15th, they get the number 3 rated or 4 rated Omaha Concordia Class C1.
Yeah, Concordia is tough too because Concordia is really, really big. And Concordia's had a lot of tough games this year, but I'll tell you what, you want to create momentum going into districts. At the same time, you want to play good teams going into districts. Blue Jays last couple games have been a little bit of a lull, and it might be a product as much as who we're playing. It's good to have a good competition tonight. You need to be challenged. So it's good for DC West, kind of a blessing and a curse.
And here we go, 4th quarter underway as Kale will try a little alley-oop to Max, high off the glass. Not able to get it to go. That pass just a hair, just a tad too much, but Max did everything he could with it, and Kale with a great attempt. And back the other way come the Falcons. As into the game to start this 4th quarter is Cam Weiss. He's a 5'9" sophomore. First time he's played tonight. And here comes a tip and a steal by Kissinger. Kissinger has a 3-on-1. He's going to give it to Max. Max, layup, got it to roll. 54-29. By the way, the Blue Jays will finish with Logan View, Nebraska City, Grand Island Northwest, Bishop Newman, and Malcolm. And here comes Spanky. He is fouled as he goes up against either Kissinger or Parker there. We're going to call it on Max. His second. 7:14 to go, 4th quarter. Spanky's first free throw up, rolls around and falls. It's 54-30. You heard Mike Sauter mention Blue Jays, by the way, another Class B team they played was Plattsmouth that we forgot. Here's the free throw, it's up and good.
I kind of drew a blank when he asked that.
Yeah, it took me a minute, but that Plattsmouth team, boy, they're well coached and fought hard in the holiday tournament. Here comes Kissinger. But the Blue Jays had a lot of that meat of their schedule up front. Here comes Kissinger. Shot is blocked by Joe Graham, but Brooks gets it back undeterred. He will knock it home. Roncalli, Platteview, Plattsmouth. Man, some tough teams. Fort Calhoun, although they just played Fort Calhoun last Saturday for the conference championship. But a lot of that heavy-duty schedule was up front as Brody Travis has a travel. As Cale Jacobson, I think, may be responsible for that turnover.
Yeah, he just a little frustrated right now. I don't disagree with Travis right there, but he's just trying little crappy things to get Cale, and he kind of tried a little too much there.
Evan Shepard working off the right side. Layup, no good, but he's fouled by Weiss. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
So many times last year. Evan was a little more of a primary ball handler role last year. So many times we saw a little hip swivel and a right-handed finish right there. I don't know if it was a set, but the Blue Jays kind of cleared out the right side and just gave Evan his right hand.
How long, by the way, the free throw's good, how long did Shepard hang in the air on that?
I mean, he's an athlete. We're clipping some of the stuff, the videos, and I mean, he is 6'1", but you know, he plays like he's 6'3", 6'4", just long jumper, high jumper. He's a good track athlete.
Well, he and Aiden Washburn, I believe, will be doing the audio broadcast of the C-Team boys game tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Here is Joe Grant. Now that was a signature move. So if you get a chance on agbluejays.com tomorrow at 9 a.m., tune them in. It'll be an audio-only broadcast, but they're going to get a little student work as Max Parker, he bangs it home, 61-33.
I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed listening to those kids doing the wrestling. So Aiden, Braxton, Logan, they're pretty fun to listen to. They bring a fun perspective.
And Lopman. Hey, this reminds me of that second quarter, doesn't it?
Just back and forth, back and forth. Devin Lopman, I know he's a golfer. I've written his name on a couple golf scorecards, but he's hit a couple 3-balls tonight.
Well, that's like chipping in from 110 yards out, right? With that 3-ball he just knocked home.
Well, I don't know how that feels, Tim. I'll let you know when that happens.
I think it's happened to me once in my life, and I fainted when it happened. So.
Well, I'll tell you, for the people at home, I don't know if you believe this or not, but Tim and I had a couple golf matchups in the fall, and Tim got my number every single time.
Well, listen, you know, every dog has its day, and the bottom.
That dog had 3 days.
Well, I'm going to give you plenty of shots this summer. I can promise you that.
All right.
Let's get back out and do it again. It's always a ton of fun.
Tim just wanted to beat up on the golf coach. That's a good thing to tell your buddies at the course.
Well, I ran into Brian Dutcher coming in here, Amber Dutcher's wife. Of course, he coaches baseball at Springfield. And I said, when are we going to get out? And he said, we got to find a time because it's just about here. It's Shepard will try to get that 3. And bingo, he does! 64-36.
Great. You know, Evan just keeps shooting, man. I love his confidence. I love his attitude. He just keeps shooting.
Terrific young man. And here's Lopman with a great feed into Spanky. Oh! He wasn't able to finish that one, something that he did regularly in that first half as Kissinger stepped through, Euro step, reverse layup by Kissinger.
That was pretty filthy. That one might find its way on the highlight tape at the end of the day, but Brooks just so balanced, so under control in the lane.
Lopman gonna try a big pass across the skip pass. Here's ball fake by Travis. He's gonna go hard, hit a layup. And that is the first bucket of Brody Travis in the second half after he was sizzling in that first half. The Blue Jays have quieted him down a little bit here in the second half.
You know, he takes advantage of the fact that he's a shooter, he gets long closeouts, and really uses his space well. Travis will be a good player at the next level.
Jacobson over to Parker. 4:28 to go here. Blue Jays up 66-38. As they work against man-to-man defense here for the Falcons. Shepard, ball fake, gets in the paint, gonna kick it out, stolen by Lopman. Here comes Lopman. He's gonna pull up, why not shoot another 3? He's feeling it, but that time can't get it to go. Got his own rebound, forced to pass inside, stolen by Evan. Here goes to Brooks. Will he come back? No, he'll try it. Evan on the putback. Oh, he's fouled, had his legs kind of knocked out from underneath him, and he's gonna go to the line to shoot 2.
Blue Jays getting a couple more steals, working in transition a little better, you know, a little later in this game, but that's one thing, give DC West credit. You know, they didn't have a lot of turnovers that ended up in second chance points for the Blue Jays.
Shepard's first free throw, a little bit short. And you're gonna see these kids every day, Jordan. These 4 seniors, I have a feeling they put a smile on your face when you get a chance to talk to them in the hallways, huh?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Mose and Shile and Jensen and I kind of stand in the hallway together, and Max, Evan, Kale, they end up standing by us a lot of times, and they're just fun. You know, Kale's a little more serious. Max is just always trying to give Mose crap, but it's fun. They really do have good temperaments.
Yeah, and here's a reach in and a slap by Kissinger with 3:45 to go. 67-38. Big Blue got a heck of a first half from DC West, and then the Blue in the second half, boy, they've been tough. I have them just giving up 3 points in the third, and so far 7 in the fourth. I don't know if that's exactly right, but that's got to be close as Joe Graham will go to the line and hits it. 67-39. Blue Jays giving up about 38 points a game, so DC West going to eclipse that tonight. Graham's second free throw, no good. Kale will bring it up here with 3:38 to go. With his left-hand drive, kicks it. Here's Max for an open 3. Look out! Max Parker!
I mean, it's just great action. Kale goes, you know, the guy that's supposed to be playing on the inside is waiting on the outside for a 3. big man wants to stay in the lane and help, which he did there, Max is on the outside for a 3.
And Shepard and Lopman, they crash and they help each other up. Good sportsmanship there. Lopman, a 5'9" senior. You got to really appreciate this kid. He is not by far the biggest kid out on that court, but he battles and plays. He's got confidence in his shot. You can see that. He's not afraid to get physical.
You know, when Good Lord made him, he didn't put a whole lot of quit in him. You know, he's a fighter. You know, he's hitting big shots tonight, making a big impact on the game.
Swinging around here to the Blue Jays. Good ball movement. Back to Bridges. They're going to reverse it. In a New York minute here. Here comes Bridges. Finally got that 3 ball. Too hard. Lopman on the board. Under 3 to go. Has a good crossover by Gaston, but look at Bridges defend, and he taps it out of bounds. Credit Cade Bridges. That was a great move by Gaston, but he hung right in there.
Yeah, Cade is a really high-level basketball player. Yeah, I got a name for players like Cade and Cougar, but I don't really want to say it on air.
Well, I trust your editorial comment here or judgment, as a shot was missed by Travis and went out of bounds off of the big blue.
Well, I don't want to say it on air because it's kind of a jinx.
Oh, I see.
It's
a good name.
They're kind of like championship players. You know, like Cade, spacing guy, defense, transition. Cougs, post defense, rebound, finishing, 3-pointers. Dane, crafty. You know, those are guys that you're on a good team, they're your second or third or fourth best player, but on a C-word team, on a championship team, those guys are playing 7, 8, 9 roles.
Well, there is certainly some depth on this Blue Jay squad as Coach Mose wants a timeout with 2:13 to go. I have a feeling we might be seeing some new faces in there.
And I'm not jinxing it because Sauter kind of talked about it a little bit as well at halftime, but you know, it's exciting. I'm excited for Mose. I'm excited that he's got those guys, you know, coming off the bench and playing big minutes for him.
Well, you mentioned Coach Mose, who's done a brilliant job. Coach Daling, who has just been terrific. Those two coached against each other, as we mentioned at the start of the show, when they were JV coaches at Fairbury and York. Coach Mose was at York. And Coach Daling, you know, this is his 8th year. He came from Centennial. He played high school baseball, by the way, at Doane. But, man, you know, both of these coaches have just done a marvelous job with their programs. They just have grown them. They've gotten better every year. Your thoughts on these two guys? You
know, I speak on Mose because I'm maybe a little more familiar, but I mean, he really did build her from the ground up, getting in the JJYB program. Obviously, Brad's been a huge support for him, community members supporting him, but, you know, the kids coming through are skilled. And the kids walking the hallway that maybe didn't make it all the way to their senior year are skilled. You know, there's probably 5 or 6 kids that could play other places because they've had a good youth bringing in basketball. So credit to Mose.
Here come the Falcons working hard the other way. Here's a spin move in there by Karsten Alexander. And I believe we got a travel, so it'll go over to the big blue. Dawson Teese, Darren Hill. You got Jackson Ham. Jordan calls him the Hammer. Then you've got Walker Grell and Luke Clark. You got Weiss in there. The younger Travis, Drake Travis. Also in the game is Riker Wohlers. As the Hammer gets it over there to Clark, and the ball nearly stolen here by Ryan Wohlers, and it is. Here comes Weiss, right-handed layup. He'll knock it home. Blue Jays up 27. Here comes Dawson Teese. And pass just got away there in the paint, and coming up out of there with it are the Falcons, and that's Wohlers. These are important minutes for these kids, aren't they, Jordan?
They are, and you know, Luke Clark's a junior. He's a great player. Ham gets post minutes. Dawson Teese ready to step into a bigger role. You want to see kids playing well and fighting.
And a couple of misses in there in the paint by Wohlers, but before that, an excellent look by Drake Travis to find Wohlers underneath. And now we got a whistle and a foul on the Falcons with 1:03 to go.
Well, you know, the other thing is the JV lost their first game of the year tonight. Boys JV did.
That, yeah.
So they were kind of big and kind of left it. So maybe you got a little dry taste in your mouth. You're excited about a varsity win, but you want to come in and play some good minutes.
Here comes, and let's credit DC West with that as well. That sets up again this rivalry for the next few years. Look at the jump stop there by Teese. Tried a little left-handed reverse, got fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Teese is a strong player. statistically, size-wise, is he bigger or stronger or taller or way more? No, but he just has a tough mentality.
Yeah,
he's
he
going to go
does.
through guys.
I'd love to see him go out for football just because of that, what you said there. He is such a tough kid. Here's his free throw. It's up and no good. Big kid, strong, athletic, quick.
Yeah.
You know that Coach Thompson, with the stuff he does, we get a lot out of him.
Make good tight end.
Yeah.
That's the way he plays basketball is the way that tight ends play football.
Speaking is a All-American tight end at Hastings College, so he knows what a tight end looks like. And back the other way come DC West. And Weiss will get the board. So you see some of that, huh? Tight end in him.
I do. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like the same way you got to jump stop and go through a guy's chest and be under control is the same way you got to jump up for a ball. And getting a rebound is really similar to going up and getting high point and pass. He just has physical on the mind, and I like it.
3-ball knocked home by Karsten Alexander, the freshman.
And the other thing is to know how to be physical on a basketball court. Jackson Ham's also a physical kid, but he's kind of learning and figuring out what to be physical means. And so Doss kind of has that figured out. I'd love to see him go out as well.
Absolutely. And the Blue Jays just going to walk it up across the timeline. That'll end it. It's a 71-46 win for the Big Blue tonight over DC West. What a first half it was between these two teams, and then the Blue Jays really put the hammer down defensively in the third quarter, slowing Brody Travis, who had a phenomenal first half, holding him to just 2 second-half points. And that was a big difference here to get this second half going, and the Blue Jays put some separation. Also, an 8-point play, believe it or not, as there was an intentional foul called on Brody Travis. It led to an 8-point possession for the Big Blue, which, folks, mark that one down. You won't see that very often. And so let's see, Jordan, if we can get the camera on the student body as they do. Oh, you were turning on us. What am I doing?
No, you're good. Sorry, I wasn't even thinking. I wasn't using my brain.
Here we go. They're singing a fight song. All right, partner, thanks for doing that. I know that's the #1 ranked student body in the country. They get my vote every week. They're loud, they're boisterous, they're crazy, but they're well behaved.
Yeah, they are. And Abby Fisher, she joined our media class. She runs the Instagram Birdcage post, and so we had some kids working the sidelines tonight, and so we're going to come out with some content and just kind of see what we can't mess with next week.
It's going to be fun. You guys are doing incredible stuff with that Strive class, media class, whatever you call it. But you are the quarterback of that, and man, it's been fun to watch. And speaking of fun to watch, this Blue Jay team, they were fun to watch tonight. Very unselfish. They distributed the ball, and then they came out and had a monstrous third quarter defensively.
Yeah, and Sauter kind of said it. We saw Mike Sauter at halftime. He kind of said, it's amazing to see DC West in this game while the Blue Jays are shooting so hot. And he's exactly right. Kale was kind of being held back. They're converging on him. He's kicking out, and Blue Jays shot lights out. Second half, they just kind of flipped the switch. Really went for it. Played good D, turned that into offense, stepped up on the defensive end, and kind of extended to the point where, a game where you're down 12 points and it was 25. So good job by the Blue Jays stepping up, having a big third quarter. That's not the first time this year we've seen him do that. And Mo's kind of talked about the lull they've been going through a little bit. Tonight felt like a lull breaker. Like a good opportunity to get back on track.
Well, just to show you that these coaches know what they're talking about, right? With Coach Mose and company, they wanted to hold Spanky and Travis to under 20. They averaged 27 between them. And they end up getting 21 between them, Jordan, but only 4 points in the second half, and that's where the difference came in this game. There was some serious separation between the Blue Jays and Falcons. So talk about holding them down to just 4 in that second.
Yeah, the game plan kind of, Brooks has been playing a lot of really good on-ball defense this year. So the game plan was kind of let Brooks play the on-ball defense. Let Kale worry about the half-court offense. Brooks is really good at running in transition. So you let Brooks guard Travis. The rebound happens, let Brooks run in transition. let Kale use a lot of his energy in the half-court offense. Travis got loose. Wasn't a product of anything Brooks did, but he's a big-time shooter, and he hit some tough shots. And so halftime, Blue Jays said, all right, we're gonna let Kale lock things down and be 6'3" and athletic and long as Kale is. That's a tall task to get by him. So good job by the Blue Jays.
Without a doubt. And Jordan, 8 trays for the Blue Jays in the first half, 4 by DC West. But their shooting, they had a little bit of an off night against Fort Calhoun, but since then against Boys Town, and of course tonight against DC West, they have been lights out once again.
There's an old saying, you live by it, you die by it. Luckily for the Blue Jays, they finish at a high enough clip and move the ball well enough. They don't really die by it. You take your shots, see what the night's going to be like. Keep taking great shots, and if they're not falling, you find other ways to put the ball in the hoop. So they're good enough to survive moments like that, and that they have.
Yeah, well, making his way here to the press box is Mark Adell. And Mark, great to have you here. He had to feel like he was in the green room of a late night show when he found out that his appearance wasn't going to come on, which happened every now and again for Letterman or whatever. But now, Mark, you got the microphone. Tell us what those stats look like for the game.
Well, first of all, some old business. I was so disheartened at the girls' close loss that I didn't give Olivia Pike credit for having a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds. Got to mention that. First girl that we've had this year that has had one. For the Blue Jays, though, I was actually concerned in the first half despite our 9-point lead, because I always have said one of the things that gives the other team a chance to beat the Blue Jays is if they take good care of the ball. And DC West only had 5 turnovers the first half.
Wow.
So I thought they were in the game very much so.
Absolutely. And Mark, how many teams have we seen only have 5 turnovers in the first half? I can't think of
against
any.
us. Well, we turned them over more in the second half. They had 13 for the game. We also had 12, which is a little high for us.
Yeah.
But DC West, if they win this game tonight, they had a chance for a share of the conference crown. They could have knocked us off.
That's right.
Now we've got both the tournament and the regular season. Even if we lose to Logan, you perish the thought. But we've beaten Fort Calhoun, so we would get the tiebreaker.
Yeah,
if it went to 8-1. But anyhow, more stats. We were 23 of 41 from the field. An average night, you might say, for the Blue Jays, 56%. They shoot so well for the most part that when they don't, you just think it's the worst thing since a blizzard.
Yeah, right.
Like against Fort Calhoun. They were 13 of 23 from 3. DC West said with that zone, beat us from 3 and we're going to take away Kale's drives. They did. We beat them from 3.
And so Mark, what did we shoot for overall for the game?
56% overall, 23 of 41, 13 of 23 from 3, 57%.
Great.
For DC West, 17 of 43, but they were 10 of 18 in the first half, which I thought they were very much in the game too. They were 17 of 43 for the game, 7 of 25 is all in the second half, 40% for the game. And it might be unusual to say this about a guy that scored in double figures, but we did an excellent job on Brody Travis tonight. His shooting percentage, he only made 1 field goal in the second half in 6 attempts. For the game then, he was 5 of 13, which is pretty good defense on him.
Yeah. Well, he had a great first half, though. I think he had 13 in that
first half.
He
hit some threes with some hand
guys
in his
face. Yeah,
not much you can do when that happens.
Yeah.
So they were 6 of 18 from 3, 4 of 9 the first half, though. So they really cooled off in the second half.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's mental, too. I saw that game at Lincoln Lutheran, and they couldn't throw the ball in the ocean the first half, Lincoln Lutheran. But a gal shot a ball, and it took a high hop off the back edge, 3-pointer, and went in.
Yep.
And, boy, that just perked them up like you wouldn't believe. That controversial call on Brody Travis,
Yes.
the intentional foul, I thought really took the wind out of DC West sails. And so, again, Kendra likes my Yogi Berra sayings.
All right.
He always said baseball is 90% mental, the other half is physical. That was a situation here the last couple games.
All right, Mark. Well, thank you, buddy.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Free throws, we were 12 of 17, 71%.
Yep.
6 of 10 for DC West, 60%. We out-rebounded them 23 to 18. We got 15 rebounds in the second half. And we had 5 offensive, as did they. They had 18.
All right, buddy. Thank you for
Okay,
racking
we'll
them.
see you. Are you going to Logan View?
Oh, I won't miss a game. And
All right.
Unless Coach Mo's bans me.
I'll be there. I'll have to tell Suzanne and Kendra they're on their own. That'll break their heart again.
There you go, Mark. Thank you so much for coming up. And Coach Mo's joining us. And, Coach, thanks for coming up here tonight. Listen, first half, it's raining threes. 8 for us, 4 for them. Second half, after a phenomenal first half by Brody Travis, you guys do a great job on him, hold him to just 2 points. Talk a little bit about that difference between the first half defensively and that second half from your perspective.
You keep asking the same question from first half to second half, and you're getting the same response.
Are you saying you don't like my question, Coach?
We did not make any halftime adjustments. I don't know why. Sometimes you just gotta, I don't know. You have to be positive with the kids. You got to reinforce what we're good at. You got to reinforce what we're great at, what they do well, what we want to do, what they like to do. I don't know what it is, but we just challenge them to defend better in the second half because we know they can, and they can defend at an extremely, extremely high level, probably a level we've never seen before. But sometimes now they're getting creative and they're deciding when they do and when they don't want to do it, and so we would have liked to put a 4-quarter game together, but at least they responded in the second half. And I hope that all these little instances, they learn and they realize that, hey, when we get in a grinder here, win or go home game, that our defense has got to carry us.
Before I turn it over to Jordan, I'm going to stay kind of on that line. I know that your guys' goal was to try to get Spanky and Travis under 20 tonight. Between the two of them, they were averaging 27. They get to 21, but only 4 points in that second half.
Yeah, and they had to work, and like I just said, we didn't do a good job in the first half. I don't have a reason why. I wish I did, because we would have fixed it. Similar to the first half of our last game, we're just, we have to pressure people. That's what we're good at. We have to make teams uncomfortable. We have to get after teams, and we did that in the second half. Sometimes I think the kids think we need a press or we need a trap or we got to do different things like that. We're really good at just making teams uncomfortable and straight up in our half-court man defense. So,
Mose, I don't really have a question.
You got a comment?
I don't know if that's even worth 2 cents. I don't know. I just feel like you guys are doing a good job, and it's tough as a head coach to hold them to expectation. I appreciate that. I was going to talk about the shirts and the mock necks, and Mose wore a mock neck last week, and then he gave me one. I wore it to school. I like the baby blue polos tonight. I'm a gear guy.
You know what? He's all about the fashion.
I know.
I'm all about the business. He's all about the fashion, Coach. So
there you go.
got a comment on the mock? I don't even know what a mock neck is.
Wow. I guess no one needs to know. We probably spent too much time talking about it already.
This was a deal. It's like the Under Armour shirts that's got the Nike logo on the neck. Mose and I are on board. No one else is on board. And so it's just, I don't know. That's not worth 2 cents right now.
This is breaking news for sure. Hey, Coach, let me draw
Get
back
back
here
on
to
track.
the
I
game.
don't got a question.
One other thing I wanted to ask you against a zone. I know you guys were happy with some of your performances against the zone and not so much against some others. But tonight, to me, it seemed like your ball movement was super crisp in that second half against the zone. Maybe not quite as crisp and as quick in the first half. Your thoughts? Were you pleased?
Well, we tried to get them into one of our zone offenses that probably they felt a little bit more comfortable with. However, in the first half, did we make two-handed passes or one-handed passes? Were we being strong or not being strong? And so whatever zone offense we're running, if you're not going to be intelligent and strong, it's not going to work anyway. So I think it was a combination of playing a little bit stronger and smarter, as well as getting them in something we feel comfortable with. And you know, when you're making shots, it covers a lot of things up. And so when we were making shots in the first half, it covered up some defensive mistakes. And then in the second half, when we started to play defense, the shots just kind of, you know, expanded the lead a little bit there.
Well, again, we appreciate you being up here tonight. We know it's been a very long week with your grandmother's funeral today, and you made it back, but obviously had an opportunity to go up to Wahpeton and pay your respects. And thank you so much for being here through a trying week for you.
Definitely, yeah. You know, it was a beautiful service this morning in a great-looking church, and so I was glad I could be there for my dad and the family, and they're big fans. They listen to the games. They love this stuff, and so, you know, it was a really neat deal, and hopefully the Driftwood Lounge is celebrating tonight.
Well, we said on the show, I hope we know they're raising a glass to her tonight. And lastly, too, I just want you. I know your assistant coaches yesterday picked up practice and, you know, jumped in, and you sent me a text just the other night about all the great things you love about these guys. Just give you an opportunity here to really talk about them as well.
I mean, they do a great job. Obviously, anytime, you know, you can get young guys that are close to that high school age, the kids love them. So the kids like all those guys we have on our staff. They interact really well and build great relationships with our players. And then, of course, they're knowledgeable. They're high school players. They were good high school players. Several of them were college players. All of their parents were coaches, high school varsity coaches. With a boatload of wins.
Yeah.
And so, like, we've got these guys that just they're good. I mean, they do so many good things for our program, whether that be at practice or whether that be in games or other things. We're all on the same page, but I think we all challenge each other too, as well, with different ideas and thoughts and things throughout a game or a practice or whatever it is. So it's a great group of guys. And I'm just the old guy of the bunch.
Isn't that funny how that happens all of a sudden, you know? And I got to tell you, I've been with you guys sometimes, you know, after a game, and I've heard you challenge each other just a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I think we're all competitive people.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we want what is best for our kids. And so I think they enjoy being around the kids, and I think that our kids enjoy being around them. So I couldn't ask for anything more from a staff. It's been fun.
Well, Coach, again, congrats on the win. Great seeing you, and we will see you. You got Loganview next week, so we'll see you Tuesday night.
Busy week. Loganview Tuesday away, Neb City Thursday here, and then we head to Grand Island on Saturday. So
that's right. A big week with 3 games.
Yeah, we've got a big week, and so it was nice to come in and play well on this one and shoot the ball well, and we're going to carry that momentum into next week.
Absolutely, Coach, thank you. And I wonder if you could do us one last favor. Could you grab Cougar Conzen? We haven't had him up here this year. Would it be all right if you see him to send him up? And is he out there? Maybe he's already gone in. He might have been here early to the showers.
I don't see him.
Well, you know what? You grab anyone. Just send somebody up. Whoever the first player you run into.
No pressure.
We won't put it on you. Thanks, Coach. Normally we have someone up here to do our running for us. We put Coach Mose to work tonight. But, Jordan, before we get a player up here, your thoughts here again on this game and really what Coach Mose had to say about what he saw tonight.
Yeah, I like the way he's going in depth talking about the zone. Zone is something that, you know, as the season ends, the competition ramps up and the teams get a little deeper, we might not see as much, but that's something that teams at Wrinkle, they're going to try to throw at us. So I love that they have multiple zone attacks. They're willing to go to them at any time. It's good stuff from Mo.
Well, we've got a couple of players making their way up here to the broadcast booth, and I'm telling you, folks, this is double trouble. We got Brooks Kissinger, we got Max Parker. Fellas, congrats on the win. Brooks, we'll start with you here tonight. This was a game where it was raining threes. I've got to imagine for a kid like you, and Max, you knocked some down tonight too, you have to love a game like this when you're just putting the ball up and everything's going in. Tell us a little bit about, from a shooting standpoint, how much fun that was.
It's just great because my teammates do a great job of getting everybody open, and it's just I have an opportunity to knock it down and try my best to knock it down.
Yeah, you know, you also, Brooks, do something else pretty special. You can drive to the rim and you go hard. And I mean to tell you, your arms, they are just so long. You're such a long player. So talk a little bit about the opportunities you got tonight to drive to the rim.
I don't know how to answer that.
Well, tell me a little bit about what they gave you, because there were times where you were able to really attack and be aggressive.
I think they were closing out at me hard, so I just try to attack them and get to the free throw line and knock the free throws down.
Now, your mother would say, there's no way I could ever make you speechless. I just did, though.
Yep, you did.
Yeah. We're going to turn it over to Max. And, Jordan, I'll give you the opportunity here. Since I stumped Brooks, you go ahead with Max here.
Max, you do a lot of fun things. You're a fun guy. Tim was asking some questions about some hallway stuff. I think there's no doubt you enjoy the game of basketball. You're out here with your friends. What's the one situation that you enjoy the most? Like something happens and you get fired up. What's that situation really gets you going?
It's when my teammates hit a three. It's just pure joy when everyone's hitting threes.
Okay, not a dunk, not a block shot.
I mean, a block shot's always good, but just hitting threes is.
The one tonight was pretty good.
Yeah,
you really got into that.
Sent that to the moon.
I'm not a swinging guy. I don't like when guys swing. You're a swinger.
Yeah.
So why are we swinging so hard? You trying to get a scholarship to Nebraska for volleyball, or what's going on here?
Yeah.
You looked a little bit like an outside hitter on that. It took a libero to track that thing down tonight that you hit so hard.
Yeah.
You like getting after, but are there times where coach says to you, "Hey, we want you straight up"? When do you know to swing, and when do you know to just stay straight up?
I mean, I swing all the time, and I'm supposed to not swing. I'm supposed to be wall up every time, but sometimes I want the block, and it doesn't work out.
Yeah, Moses is just down here dying laughing right now.
He knows. Hey, you've been so much fun. This is your senior night tonight. Brooks has got another year. Talk about what that moment was like when the four seniors line up here on senior night.
It's crazy. It's gone by so fast. It's just crazy to me. I love the game of basketball, and this is a great season, and I'm gonna be sad when it's over, but I'm in the moment now, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys have a lot of basketball to play. My question is this: Can Brooks ram one home? Is he incapable of a dunk, or can he ram one home?
I think he can.
I got one in me.
He grabbed the mic. What do you say?
Yes.
All right, good deal. You guys are going to get along tonight. Hey, listen, thanks for coming up, fellows, and congrats on a really nice win tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Brooks Kissinger, Max Parker, great job with the post-game interviews. Well, Jordan, I'm going to leave it up to you here to sign us off. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Blue Jays take care of business tonight, 71-46. NEB Preps game of the week, and Blue Jays just keep finding ways to extend leads and take advantage of big games. It's a big game, 14-5 DC West going up against number 1 Blue Jays. Good C1 matchup. Blue Jays take care of business.
Well, a ton of fun doing a game with you here tonight, Jordan. And folks, tomorrow, when you get up and you have your morning coffee and your newspaper, make sure you tune on agbluejays.com as Aiden Washburn and Evan Shepard will be doing an audio-only broadcast of the C-Team game against Bennington. So we'll have that for you at 9 o'clock. A lot of people to thank tonight. That Strive class, they do amazing stuff. Oh, here we go. We're on TV tonight. The Strive class does amazing work, so a big thanks to them. And a short crew tonight. Mike Sauter, those special guests, we want to thank him. And, of course, the man, Jordan Wallman. I'm Tim Washburn saying so long. We'll see you next week.